Is everyone going live?
Broadcast is live.
Broadcast is live. Welcome to episode 1 of Mustard, or is it Mustard Monday? I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. So if you've been playing along recently, you'll know that Will and I are now doing 3 live broadcasts every week. We're doing 30-second Thursdays, which may or may not be actually 30 seconds. We're doing Sandwich Saturdays. So last Thursday we did a Russian dressing for 30-second Thursday. We used that Russian dressing in Sandwich Saturday for our Reuben sandwich, which was on, of course, of Will's birthday. And today is Mustard Monday. And so you'll recognize that in all of these, we're using different camera looks and camera angles. We do have our mustards on display. This is not a hard sell of the Kaplansky mustard, but I am in the mustard business, and I'm super proud of it. We started making our mustards way back in 2012, and way back, 8 years ago in 2012, and we've improved the mustards a lot since then. We're now using a direct-to-consumer. Come on in. This is my wife, Willa Bradshaw. Willa, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Do you want to get an apron on, or are you my non-apron assistant?
You keep talking.
Thank you. I'll keep talking. So we've rebooted our mustards on Shopify. So if you go to Kaplansky's.com, you can find them. We actually just reduced all of our shipping rates by 5% across the board. Thank you very much to freightcom.com for your partnership in doing that. And if you sign up for our newsletter, another 10% off as well.
Fantastic.
So take a look and you can order there. All of our Mustard Monday recipes will incorporate the mustards. And actually, we could have used the recipe we did for dinner for Jenny last night.
Oh, that's true. That's a great recipe.
Yeah. So we did a creme fraiche and mustard bake with Brussels sprouts for Willa's mom, who made it for our Mother's Day dinner last night. I think she had a good Mother's Day.
I hope so.
How was your birthday?
It was wonderful. I ate Reubens and pancakes and lamb. Oh, it was fantastic.
Yes, well, thanks for bringing up the lamb, actually, because this is a soup that actually, we're going to show you mostly vegetarian version. We're using chicken stock, you could use veg stock, you could use water. But we could use that leftover lamb from last night and incorporate it into the soup easily and make it a wonderful, meaty white borscht. We could also use, we've got some dark meat chicken that we'd pulled from a roasted chicken in our freezer. Chicken would go really, really nicely. So if you do want to hearty up the soup a little bit with a bit of some meat, you can do that for yourself too. We're going to show you a mostly vegetarian version here.
I'm going to switch places.
Right. So we do ask for a little bit of patience and understanding. This is our very first episode of Mustard Monday.
It is our very first episode of Mustard Monday.
The tech is new to us, and so a little bit of understanding and compassion is appreciated as we motor our way through these things.
I love it.
You're going to focus on the tech stuff, and I'm going to focus on the cooking stuff. We're going to go
as much as I can.
Back and forth a little bit today between the stove and showing you what we're doing. As I said, this is a white borscht. And cabbage borscht, or beet borscht, or borscht in general, is a generic Eastern European name for a soup. Our borscht, my borscht in the restaurant, was a red borscht, a cabbage borscht, that we had tomatoes and smoked meat and lots of cabbage, and it was sort of a sweet and sour Russian style. It was a family recipe. I'll never forget, and I'm really sorry for the guy who challenged me once that my borscht, I didn't know what I was doing with borscht because I didn't have potatoes in my borscht and I didn't have beets in my borscht. So it's not borscht. That's not true.
I always thought borscht had beet in it.
Well, that
was always my assumption because that's how my
beet
mom made it.
borscht is a soup. But in my family, beet borscht is a cold summer soup. Hot borscht, which can be red, like the one that we traditionally serve in the deli, and I'm sure we'll make that for you one day here as well, was red. We have a green borscht as well, which is a very different style of borscht, and this one is a white borscht. We do put a little bit of tomato in it, but you'll see it's predominantly white. And this was a wonderful recipe that my Nana, Thunder and Thelma herself, handed down. So I cooked this with a lot of love and appreciation for her. I actually featured this recipe in a recent edition, March, I think?
It was the spring edition.
February, March of Cycling Canada. And I was really, and I'm really, really proud of this. I'm really proud of it for a number of reasons. Number one, because of my association with Chefscycle and No Kid Hungry. So you may know that I've lost quite a lot of weight, and I did it through a combination of riding my bicycle and watching what I eat, and getting recognized in an athletic magazine like Chefscycle was I'd never imagined my whole life. I'd never seen myself in a magazine like this. I mean, I never imagined I'd see myself in Gourmet magazine either, and that happened once. But I was super proud of this. Unfortunately, the Chefscycle bike ride has been postponed. It was supposed to be in June in Bend, Oregon, and Will and I were really looking forward.
Oh yeah, drive down there, spend some time in Oregon. We've never been. Well, we've been, but we haven't stayed for very long. So just to kind of explore it.
And we have a wonderful team of Canadians who ride with us as part of our team. John Jackson is our team captain. Yeah. Matt Beatty out in Calgary. We've got some new team members. We've got Cam in Winnipeg. We've got Ruby in Toronto. And I would invite anybody who's watching to think about joining chefscycle.com. Chefscycle.org. And feel free to give me an email, zane@kaplanskis.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have or help you with your decision. This is a picture. Can you bring that close to the camera so people can see it?
Yeah, I can bring it close to the camera.
This is a picture of me from last year's Chefscycle ride in Santa Rosa, California. This was, I believe, day 2. There you go. Yeah. Rainy day in California, cold and rainy. And but we persevered. It's a 100-mile cycling adventure, torture for 3 straight days, 100 miles each day. And I absolutely love the people that I'm connected with. And I love what we do. And during the virus, during the pandemic, with schools being closed, No Kid Hungry needs our help now more than ever. And I would encourage you to go to No Kid Hungry, go to chefscycle.org, donate to that organization. We give 3% of all of our mustard sales to No Kid Hungry and to Chefscycle as part of our commitment, as part of that ride. And we're super proud of our association with them.
Great people doing great work.
Great people doing great work. Please consider donating. Let's do this, shall we?
Okay.
So I've got the big stainless steel pot up on the stove warming up.
Hot is warming.
We're going to do a little, as I say, back and forth today to show you how this is done. So until it gets too hot, see a little smoke rising, smoky, wonderful. We're going to add our schmaltz. Now we're going to post the actual recipe afterwards, and Willa's going to try and...
I'm going to try and not set off the smoke alarm.
Smoke alarm. Good, not set off the smoke alarm is a good idea.
But that'd be okay. Let's see. What did you just add, Dave?
I just add the onions. So we diced 1 medium onion, and because I'm as verbose an individual as I am, I kind of overheated the pan, which is why it got as smoky as it did. It didn't do any harm at all. The onions are frying away really, really nicely. And after the onion, I'm going to add the cabbage. Now this recipe calls for 2 cups of cabbage. And I'm going to go with a rough, what do you think, Willa? This is about
well, I mean, like, be generous. Do what you feel.
Sure. Well, actually, what I'd like to do is I'll demo a little bit of what the sliced cabbage looks like when you're actually doing it yourself. And I'll give that a chance to saute as well. So what I had a whole head of green cabbage. You could choose Napa cabbage. I don't recommend it. Napa cabbage is that sort of wrinkly version of cabbage. Yeah. Red cabbage would not make this a white cabbage borscht. So if you're looking for the color of white, don't use red cabbage. Otherwise, it's a wonderful product, so don't worry about using it. I cut the cabbage in half, and then I cut it into quarters, and then I cut out a little V to take the core out of the cabbage itself. And this also, you trim off any extraneous-looking bits that don't look wonderful. And I always used to tell my staff in the restaurant, because we used to grate our cabbage by hand. Yeah. There is no part of your finger that is worth any part of that cabbage. Please be careful. When you're cutting, always throw your fingers under. And I use a very good chef's knife. This one is an F. Dick. It's a wonderful pro chef knife that was a gift from Carmelo Vatiquino. Carmelo, you are a mensch. And Carmen and I were both invited to perfectly centered in
Sure, I'll keep stirring. You keep talking.
in Newfoundland by Papa Smurf himself. That's Rory McPherson, if you don't know. And Carm is a wonderful chef and character, and he gave me a gift of this F-Dick chef knife, and I just love using it. One of those instruments and tools that fits so beautifully in your hand, stays sharp, and it's always harder to cut yourself. These famous last words, right? When you're using a sharp knife. Dull knives, you have to push through. Sharp knives are better. So this one's a nice sharp knife. That's what a whole head of shredded cabbage looks like. If you have more than you need, you make another borscht. Make some coleslaw. Make a bubble and squeak. There's a lot of different things you can do with a head of cabbage. Bubble and squeak is a breakfast dish that it's kind of like a hash, but it uses cabbage instead of, well, as well as potatoes. I think it's a pretty Irish thing.
Okay.
I would say. And this recipe also calls for 2 diced white potatoes, medium white potatoes. I've used russets, and you'll also see that it's in water. Why is it in water, Willa?
Starch.
Thank you for the starch, and also it keeps the potatoes from turning color. So potatoes will oxidize in the air, and they'll turn a light brownish color. Again, it's called white borscht. It's not called beige borscht. I'm looking for the white color here. So I'm going to just rinse. I'm going to drain off the excess water and the excess starch, as Willa said. And the other fun thing that you'll notice about these potatoes is that I've left the skin on. Zane Kaplansky is a skin-on potato guy. And mashed potatoes, I leave the skin on. Why? The nutrition in potatoes is in the skin. I love the texture and the flavor as well. So I'm going to throw this right into the soup.
Should we add the tomatoes as well?
Yeah, let's go in with the tomatoes as well. And once you do that, Willa.
Sure.
That's the pretty face, you know.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes.
No, God, you are always pretty face.
Yeah.
Not just a pretty face. And then we're going to add our celery. So I've diced up 1 stalk of celery. We've also got celery leaves that we're going to add later on. A lot of people, when they trim up a head of celery, will cut off the base, throw it out, cut off the top, and throw it out. Folks, please, there's no reason to throw away good food. If you want to use that base from the celery, throw it into a chicken stock. Will and I have a chicken in our fridge, and when we finish with a roasted chicken, we take the bones, we take all the schmaltz and bits, carrot peelings, onion peelings, celery, and then a bay leaf, and it goes right into a soup like that. It's a wonderful soup stock. You'll really enjoy it. And of course, it saves you some money too. So the flavor of the celery will go really nicely with the flavor of the celery leaves. And that's also one of the reasons why I decided to make this soup with our mild mustard. Because, can you reach over there?
Sure.
The Kaplansky's, I think it's the second one.
No, it's
Thank you. Our mild mustard uses a flavor accent of celery seed. And it's the only mustard that I know of that does that. And I love the way celery seed, most people don't eat celery seed in the rims of Caesar glasses, Caesar drinks. But celery seed is a really lovely flavor. And again, it brings out the celery that you're going to get out of the celery leaf as well as the celery stalk. And these flavors should combine really well. We're also going to just bring these, you want to soften the cabbage and the celery and the potatoes together. And then we're going to add our 6 cups of chicken stock. As I said, if you want to keep this completely vegetarian, use oil instead of butter, and then use schmaltz.
Yeah. We also need to add our garlic.
Yes, the garlic in this recipe, it's interesting because the garlic in this recipe goes in when the stock goes in, and I think that that's another function of the color. That as a white borscht, We're not looking for golden brown. We're really just looking for white.
Yeah.
Yes, there's the green in the cabbage, but it'll all work out nicely. So we will go in with this garlic right now. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to substitute roasted garlic, that's a wonderful addition as well. Again, I always look at recipes as guidelines. It's not just follow this recipe and it's going to taste great. Every onion tastes different. It's true. Every cabbage will taste a little different. The texture might be different. Your taste preferences may be different than my taste preferences. You're going to balance the flavor of the soup differently than I will. If you want to add something to this that's not in the recipe.
Oh, and the broth?
And then the broth goes in once. So the broth will go, we're going to add our dill as well.
Okay.
So that's, dill is a very lovely and strong flavor. It's a classic borscht flavor as well. We're going to garnish this soup. Stock in. Okay. We're going to garnish this soup with some sprigs of dill because it's a really lovely way to finish off and garnish the soup, and a little bit of sour cream as well. Oh, and the mustard. So it'll be the white borscht, a little dollop of sour cream, sprig of dill, and a squirt of mustard. It's going to take about 45 minutes to bring this soup all together. The leaf of the bay. And so we're not going to stay here and bore you during the time. What celery leaf does this actually call for?
It says, oh, did I not add the celery leaf as sorry, guys.
It's okay. I'm going to do.
Oh, quarter of a cup of celery.
Quarter cup. So this is way more than, I mean, we could probably compress this into a quarter cup, but it's about a quarter of a cup. And I'm going to give it a bit of a chop just before we put it in place, sort of pulled it off the celery as is. And again, I think a lot of people at home will be much more, like most people won't have ever used celery leaves.
For sure. And you know what I've seen is a lot of people growing celery from the root as well.
Was that it?
Chop it off and you put it in water, like a dish of water, and you can grow the celery again.
I didn't know that.
No. Eternal celery. I
love it. Well, maybe we should actually try that. We've actually started to plant some stuff. So we've got some dill seeds that we've gotten into the soil. And what else we
oregano and
horseradish. Nasturtiums.
Yeah, we have some nasturtiums.
Which are an edible flower.
They are. Marigolds, also an edible flower.
Wonderful.
Mint. But the mint, keep the mint separate because the mint is mint's almost a weed. It's a delicious, delicious weed.
I understand horseradish can also take over a garden pretty easily with all those roots. So at this stage, one thing that you'll notice is that we haven't added any salt. In fact, when I chop salt, actually pass me the salt. I'll just show people how I do this really quickly. No, sorry, the garlic. I said salt and garlic.
It's just like a very confused.
You're right. It's not you. Once again, it's not you. So to get the paper off of the garlic, slam your hand on your F-Dick knife. It frees out the garlic really easily. And then Willa did have the salt for me because I knew I was going to need that too. I use salt on the garlic when I chop it. And what the salt does is it absorbs all of the wonderful garlic oils that instead of getting on your knife and on your cutting board, get absorbed by the salt. I'll give you another pro tip with salt. It also absorbs any kind of grease spill. So if you ever have a grease spill in your kitchen, instead of trying to mop it up with soap and water, because oil is not water soluble, it will be absorbed by the salt, and then you can just sweep up
so this soup, we're going to bring it up to a simmer.
We're going to bring this up to a simmer, cover, and then leave it for 45 minutes.
Okay.
So as I was saying, that we haven't balanced the flavors. So we do have some salt in there with the garlic. Mm-hmm. There's no pepper. Mm-hmm. And
black pepper, white pepper, what kind of pepper are we using?
So again, it's a white borscht. I think we should go with white pepper. Mm-hmm. We didn't put in any of the mustard. So we're going to cook this for 45 minutes. At the end of the cooking, before we go to serve, that's when we add our mustard. That's when we add our sour cream.
So half cup of high fat sour cream.
Half cup of high fat sour cream.
And 3 tablespoons of mustard.
And 3 tablespoons of Kaplansky's mild mustard. And that is our, and so what we'll do is, following the demo, after 45 minutes, or when we go and eat it for lunch, I guess, today, coming to you live from the unceded territory of the Tlopia First Nations people, also known as Tofino, British Columbia. We will garnish, balance our flavors, and enjoy. And we'll take some pictures of that for you, so we'll be able to show you what we've done, and you can taste it along with us. If you have recipe ideas, if you have stuff that you'd like to see us do or make, we'd love to hear from you. And there's no end of possibilities. So our 32nd Thursday this week, I was thinking of doing a mustard aioli. And that would, in 30 seconds, I could easily show you how to make mayonnaise, which is oil, egg yolks, and a little acid, some vinegar. Add to that some mustard, and you've got mustard aioli. And you just simply use a hand blender, and it's super quick and done. How about a salad dressing? We could do a salad dressing on 32nd Thursday. What sandwich are we going to do on Saturday? You know, we want to hear from you. If there's something you want to see, somebody asked us about grilled cheese sandwiches the other day.
Really?
Yeah, and doing variations. I mean, a Reuben is a very souped up grilled cheese sandwich.
It is a delicious grilled cheese sandwich.
It really is. So we love doing these things with you and for you, and I love doing them with and for my beautiful
I'm going to show everyone a quick shot of the soup.
Where we are now, yeah.
I'm going to try not to spill it everywhere. See that? Oh yeah, it's pretty good. So it is fairly green looking at the moment, but I guess a lot of that gets cooked out of it. Is that right, Sam? Am I making stuff up?
So it's as white as our 32nd Thursday is close to 30 seconds. There's a little license, poetic license that's allowed here, and you're right. This is pretty green with the dill and pretty green with the cabbage. So we could maybe even call this a green borscht. But strictly speaking, this is a white borscht. So this is going to be amazing. Can't wait to taste it. I think I would like to add that the chicken, actually, that we have in our freezer. You okay with that, Lola?
Add the chicken to it?
Yeah.
Sure.
And is it in your hand here? Willa reorganized our freezer this morning, so I'll let her go and try and find the chicken. But baby, thank you for your everything, for getting this together. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along on this ride with us. First edition of Mustard Mondays, 26 minutes and we're done. I think this is great.
Dave says Borscht has beets.
Dave.
Thielen.
Hey, Dave Thielen's here. Hey, Dave.
Okay, we're off?
We're up.
You need to hit over.
What are you gonna do? Hi, Phyllis.